What's up? It's Coach PR for VladTV. Got a special guest right here, Mr. Josh Norman, aka J-No. You still good? You still using that name, J-No?
Yeah, man, that's still a part of what we do. So yeah, for
Right.
sure.
No, no, no. Okay, so let's get into it, man. From South Carolina, Greenwood, right?
Yes, sir.
Raised up with two parents, Christian home, five brothers. Um, Tell us about that. How was that growing up with five brothers in a Christian home, bro?
Man, I tell you, it was wild. But I will say this though, it made me who I am today. I will say I think I value their opinions more than anyone else. And it's probably what pushed me to be and excel in the sport that I played for as long as I played it, just because of, how we always grew up and, got at each other a good bit. So it was always high testosterone and competition in the room, and everyone had to have on their best shields for the attack. So,
Right.
but as also, church every Sunday.
Right. So
Even
who
Wednesdays, we didn't get out of that.
even Wednesdays, wow.
Yeah, even Wednesdays, man. The service. Our father, he was a pastor, so we made sure we was at the place. He made sure we was at the place to be, and even so much so, scriptures before we even got to have any type of enjoyment or go outside and have any leisure, or even YMCA for that case. So that's what's growing up like in the household with
Who
us.
who was more motivating and more pushing? Was it the parents, Christian parents, or was it your other four brothers?
I think it was more so them. My mom really like took us to everything, and dad, he was there to show up when we was at these sporting events. But at the same time, it was more so those guys that we was trying to outdo each other. It was like one here, one there, and just level up
Right.
in each level. So it was those competitive fires that got us.
Your dad, Roy Norman, he was one of two black students that went to an all-white school, and they called him, nigger, threw biscuits at him. Did he like speak to you and instill some things in you to fight some of that stuff that he had to grow and do when he was younger?
Nah, he didn't. And it's so crazy that you even say that, because I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to call him after this show and ask him about it. God,
We got the
dog,
info you didn't know.
that's crazy. Like he said, he played baseball, but I didn't know all that information. I appreciate that, but no, I just
He
think
did
that.
go to a North Side Middle School, right?
Yeah,
In Greenwood,
Northside
right?
Middle School. So that's in Greenwood. So yeah, that's different. That's more so on the north side. What's so crazy? I went to that school too.
Wow, but you didn't go when it was predominantly white.
I
You
didn't
was
go when it was predominantly white, but it is kind of like that. It's the north side of
right.
town. So everybody else, when I grew up, it was like the Brewer was more so the minority black side of the town, where they had it at. But north side was more so the white side of town. But either way, for me, it just, I mean, I grew up in a situation where um, I felt like baseball was the sport for me.
Right.
It wasn't so much of football. And the crazy thing is, I played that. I had played five sports. I did football, basketball, baseball, ran track, and swam at the YMCA. So
Oh,
I've done all that stuff. But baseball, the one I thought like I was gonna go in.
right.
But then when I got to high school, I remember a bit of that, like racism, like happening to the point where, I was better than those other kids, but the white kids, like they had their parents and everybody behind them, and I was
Right.
just an athlete, so I can play whatever position and still like be the fastest ones around the base,
Yeah.
inside
Yeah.
the park home run. That's what they call it,
Easy.
special. But I saw that I was getting slighted, and it was just me and Chris Floyd was the only black kids on the team, and so I just really fell out of love with it when I saw that, and I just really more so gravitated towards, track, football, and basketball, and I just left baseball behind, and it was so unfortunate that that had to be the case. But that's what it was like growing up. And for me, I literally, I didn't look at it as a crutch though, you know.
Right.
I looked at it as a building block to like, how can I be successful in something else and not even look at that and take that on with me as I go. Because I have white friends and they're like some of my best friends today.
Right.
And I grew up with them. I actually stayed over their house sometimes, like Sloan and those guys. I was with them a good bit, and they treated us the same. So it was no different, and I didn't let that experience, ruin anything else for the rest. I'm not a racist, or nor did I feel that way. It's almost like when people say that, there's something wrong with you. You are, but
Right, you are right.
I don't, but I
But you
really
had your
don't.
dad that actually experienced that, and for him not to like, throw it to make it a negative situation for you to bring you up and to hate
Right.
against white people. He made sure when he became a minister, a pastor. He made sure that you were, knew how to deal with it.
Right. And there's cultural balances and differences, right? You say like, as a pastor, my father is, he has a flock, right? And some of the sheep are white. Like
Right,
granted,
see,
white
yeah.
sheep, and then you know what I'm saying? There's black sheep, but so all of it is still sheep at the same time. They all, going in there as trying to get a word, trying to get, something that can actually help them in life and receive that. And for me, it's just, I've always been a guy to where like, if somebody is trying to do something against, somebody else's will, like how do you help that person out? I'm
Right.
always looking to help somebody out, and I'm not really looking if there's like a white guy, black guy, Asian guy, Chinese guy. What does it matter with the color? I feel like what you do for people and who you are as a person inside, that really what truly matters.
That's what matters.
You
It's
can
a
be,
fact.
and I think
Right.
the culture differences are that of white parents don't do things what black parents would do, and so forth, so on. Those things are like differences, but at the end of the day, like if I cut you open, you cut me open, guess what? We're gonna bleed red.
It's the red. No matter what.
So like, what does it matter from that standpoint?
Fact. Okay, so you said that you play basketball. You have 5 brothers. You had a starting 5. I mean, 4 brothers, 4 other brothers. You had a
Yeah,
starting 5 right
it
there.
was.
I know you had a name for you guys. What you called your brothers?
Oh, 5 strong, 5 strong.
5 strong.
Yeah, man, it was 5 strong. Cause it's like the bond was so tight, man. It was so tight, and the fact that we just literally grew up together in one household. And Ken's our half brother. He came every now and then, but like it was just so strong that nobody really can break it. Like, or even kind of even growing up, when our brothers had girlfriends or whatever, they had to get the whole test. They went through the
Right.
whole
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
navigation system of that. And if one didn't really feel them, then it's almost like she's out of the equation.
She's out of
kinda.
here. You got to pass the brother test, the 5 strong test.
So I had a pass. And for us, it was just like one of those. And now that we got older and got families, it's kind of like, it's still there, but it's probably not as strong as it used to be. And so therefore, those building blocks are there for us to, we got a home business that we do together. So it's kind of
Right.
cool to see that.